lots of cash into the campaigns of these folks. For instance, with the race against my husband, Senator Lucas, Republicans and others infused over $200,000 into Miriam Parris's campaign. Now, who's going to spend $200,000 plus? I forgot I didn't include the cost of the mailing, where they had him yawning, like he was asleep, and he got rid of brown with all of that ridiculous stuff. So they spent well over $200,000 on that campaign to defeat people. And so that shows you that these folks will spare no expense.
Right. And I'm remembering back a little bit. Didn't one of those people want to make a city of North Macon and exclude the rest of Macon?
Right. Alan Peake wanted to set up a white city. And there were whites in this town who were appalled at that. There would be someone who would try and do that kind of thing.
Right. I remember, what's his name, Randy on Close Up? He asked him about that one time, and he said, well, I was just making light of it. I wasn't really serious about it.
Well, he found out it would cost so much. Yeah. You'd have to provide the services and everything, and so he wasn't able to have a tax-free city. So, he backed off of that. He didn't do it just because he wanted to. He had to, because it just wasn't realistic, and it wasn't going to happen. So there's an alternate plan, though, that's taking place, and we'll be talking about that in subsequent weeks, about the alternate plan to that city that he was planning for North Macon.
Right.
We'll tell you where it is now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good that you're hammering in on it, because we need to know where these people stand when they're elected. And a lot of times things happen and then it's swept under the rug. You don't hear about it again. But we need to be constantly reminded about the people who we are electing, who will run these businesses here. We need to know this.
That's right.
We really do.
That's
because
right.
Like I said, we'll know from their actions where they stand on a lot of the issues that are involving the people of this city.
You're absolutely right. Wade, thank you so very much for calling in, and you have an open invitation to call us at any time. We want to thank you for your service to the Sheriff's Department while you were there, and thank you for being a voice for a lot of voiceless people when you come and address City Council.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks so much.
All right.
Bye. All right, that was Mr. Wade Horton, retired member of the Bibb County Sheriff's Department. Very fine, very intelligent, very articulate young man who addresses council on a frequent basis. I want to read this very quickly. Our call-in number is 646-5858 for those who wish to call in to ask Elaine. But there's a Northside High School custodian who is earning her high school diploma after 21 years. The story goes that Northside High School lead custodian Tamika Blackman has earned her high school diploma 21 years after dropping out of school. Blackman will graduate June 15th, 2013 from EL High School Home Study Academy here in Macon. The ceremony will be held at St. Peter's Baptist Church in Macon at 5:00 p.m. Tamika says, I realized that it was hard to give students at Northside High School advice about school and life when I had not completed high school. So I started doing some research and found the EL High School in Macon that offered an opportunity to get a high school diploma. I also did it for my son, who is a 5th grader at Parkwood Elementary. High school principal Dr. Greg Peavy and Tamika's son, Teron Blackman. Blackman is pictured here on this article with the two of them. She was dressed in her graduation cap and gown with the addition of the Northside High collar. Wasn't that nice, Mike? Superintendent Dr. Robin Hines made this comment. I am so proud of Mrs. Blackman. This is an outstanding accomplishment for her as well as a wonderful example for all of us and the children we serve. Blackman left high school in 1992 when she was a junior. With her diploma in hand, she now plans to work toward a college degree. Currently researching online classes, she is leaning toward applying to Georgia Military College. And that is just wonderful. That was a news release from the Houston County Board of Education, and the title is Northside High School Custodian Earns High School Diploma After 21 Years. She was in the office yesterday. Just a wonderful, wonderful person. Worked very, very hard. And when we found that she was just so close to getting her work finished, then we allowed her to work, finish up, and she is in our class, our June class, that's going to graduate this coming Saturday at 5 o'clock over at St. Peter's Baptist Church. And we are indebted to Reverend Willie Finney, who is the host pastor there, and who is allowing us, he and his members are allowing us to use the church for our graduation ceremony. It will be a wonderful afternoon, and the students are so excited. Mike here with me, my intern, is going to be doing a mime to the Tamala Man song, Take Me to the King. And if you've not seen his creative dance, then you are just in for something. Okay. Yes. Okay. We want to go back. I hope that I've been told that we possibly were not heard the entire time that we expected, and so we will be extending. We'll extend our program today, so you get to hear us up until about 4:30. That's great. My guardian engineer just informed me of that. I want to read you just a little bit of the letter that County Attorney Virgil Adams sent. And remember, listeners, that our call-in number is 646-5858. If you have a comment, we've not heard from Captain Gibson. We've not heard from Senator Lucas. We've not heard from Congressman Bishop, which we expect to hear from. And we've not heard from Councilman Fickling. So we've got a lot. I'm going to try to get these things in before they call in. But Attorney Adams wrote this letter in response. Our county attorney has the duty and responsibility of responding to the Justice Department, because he is the one who is, once the legislature passes laws, then he is responsible for carrying out all the details of it. For instance, when the nonpartisan was passed, then he had to make the actual submission and all of that. And now that the Justice Department has sent back a letter saying that there's something wrong with it, then he was the one who had the legislators to get together in a meeting, and he asked them to respond to some of the questions that the Justice Department had. I was amazed that many of our legislators, especially the Republicans, I don't think Alan Peake showed up, but the other legislators who were there, they basically said, well, we didn't talk to anybody. We really, and we don't have any minutes. We don't keep minutes. And so I was amazed. Can you imagine legislators not keeping records of stuff? So what do you think the Justice Department is going to say, Mike? You don't have to answer that. We do have another caller. Good afternoon. Ask Elaine.
Good afternoon, Elaine. This is Jack Ellis.
Yes,
How are you?
Mayor Ellis. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for your
Good to
service
hear.
to the
Good to hear from
community.
you. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, two things I'd like to discuss with you, and that is, if you just tune in, and I don't know whether you've already discussed, so that the people do understand exactly where we are with the elections. As I move around the community, I find that there's so much confusion. Some people think the election has been canceled altogether. Some think that we've got to go back and vote for consolidation all over again.
I wish we could.
Yeah,
I wish we could have that election. election over again.
Yeah, a lot of people would. But if you allow me just a minute, maybe you've already discussed it, but allow me to chime in if I...
If you would, please do.
Yeah, what people have to understand is that the Justice Department